Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good day, good night, whenever you're watching this. I've been trying to put this video out for some time, but unfortunately, this past weekend I've been trying to get caught up on a bunch of video uploads that I had, and then, just had quite a few things that came up. Like, unfortunately, this past weekend unfortunately, excuse me, I unfortunately had a few family members that ended up passing away. I did make a video talking about that. That actually happened right before the weekend, so my bad. The passings did. I'm trying to get my days right, but yeah. Like I said, between trying to get caught up on content and also some crazy weather we've been dealing with, which I'm going to talk a little bit about here in this video. I've been busy with a lot of things, like with this channel, and then of course things outside of my channel, like work and all that. That's another thing too. Work has been super busy, but this weekend I kind of had a little bit of a weekend to just get caught up with things. And then tomorrow is kind of a 50-50 as to whether or not I'm working, because they're talking we're supposed to get another bad thunderstorm. Quite a few areas here in Michigan. Michigan Storm Chasers has been talking about it. Ryan Hall, y'all spoke about it. Max Velocity, and I believe Reed Timmer also made mentions of it too. So yeah, and there's a train going by too. You guys could probably hear it. Probably the Amtrak. But anyways, wait for that train to go past. Okay, anyways, now that we're 2.5 minutes into the video, I'm going to get to the point. So, yeah, like I said, the last video I made where I was just talking, it was about my cousin and my great aunt who unfortunately passed away. I don't want to get too far into that subject matter. I mean, I might talk about that a little bit, but, yeah. Do this video while I'm playing some Minecraft. So yeah, so I ended up uploading my mid-April to Memorial Day big vlog. That video turned out to be 3 hours and 40 something minutes long. Still kind of long, but honestly not as long as a video that I uploaded a little over a month ago, like in early, well, I guess 2 months ago now, because it was in early April. But yeah, this previous big video that I uploaded, I started recording for it on April 8th and made the last video for it on Memorial Day, which was, I believe, March 25th. Or sometime, I'm pretty sure it was March 25th, but yeah. So I recently got that video uploaded, and the reason why I was so late on getting that uploaded, and the reason why, also part of the reason why I was kind of behind on uploads was because, I ended up working a job that was 2 hours away, and I was away from home for 8 days because of it. The area we worked at, it wasn't a bad area. It was Canadian Lakes area. That's what it was called. That's an area that's up by Big Rapids. So, yeah. Definitely a nice area. Big Rapids is a nice town too, in my opinion. But yeah. And then I guess at some point, real soon, we're supposed to do another job that's up that way. A little more, you know, I guess east of Reed City. So, yeah, another up north job. Go figure. I'm hoping that that one kind of gets pushed back some, but I kind of doubt that that will happen. And I'm not exactly 100% sure when we'll do it, but you know, we do what we do, I guess. But yeah, you know, doing that job and being away from home for 8 days kind of caused me to be behind on uploads, you know. That and some of the weather we've been getting too, you know, like this past weekend I ended up recording 2 different storms, and oh, correction, they weren't on the weekend, but you know, because I believe it was Wednesday and Thursday that the 2 bad storms rolled through. The first one that hit us was probably worse than the second, you know, because that storm ended up taking out one of our big branches. I did have some videos of our branch being down. I didn't record it going down, obviously, but while I was recording the first storm, I was standing right next to the tree that the branch came down from. Thankfully, I was standing on the opposite side of the tree, so, you know, the branch thankfully didn't come down right on top of me. But man, had I not been paying attention and I ran a completely different direction, it probably would have, you know, that's for sure. But yeah, I was recording that storm, and not even 2 seconds after I stopped the recording, I heard a loud crack noise right above me, you know, and it was loud too, and you know, I didn't even give it thought to look up because, you know, I didn't want to know where it was coming from. And right as I was running towards my back door, you know, there was a branch, that big branch that came down right next to me. I was probably like maybe 7 or 8 feet beside it, but yeah, that was crazy. You know, the wind at that point, I would say, probably gusted up to maybe like 55, 60 miles per hour. It was definitely a crazy moment, you know. But yeah, then the second storm that came through, it ended up not being as bad in my area as what I thought it was going to be. But the second storm did end up producing tornadoes, like, you know, Illinois, you know, I believe Strader, Illinois, they got hit with a bad tornado, and then there was a few areas in northwest Indiana that got hit hard too, like, you know, Hebron or Hebron, however you say it. And the tornado that went through that area ended up causing heavy damage over by, what's that town? Coates, however you say it. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Coates, but I could be wrong. But yeah, and then I believe they said there was a few other tornadoes in northwest Indiana. I'll have to go back and check again, but yeah. That storm ended up being pretty crazy. I won't lie about that. It did produce a few tornadoes here in Michigan. I believe they said one was in southern Kent County and another one in Berry County. Yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, it was just, storms we've been getting have been pretty freaking crazy. I'll tell you that right now. But you know, what more can you do? course, my phone's going off. I apologize about that. Oh boy, my phone battery's about to go dead. Hang on, guys. Alright. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah. I've had that notification tone on my phone for quite some time. And I tell you what. Every time I see my mom and, you know, she hears that thing, it always freaks her out, because, you know, there was one day I was over there, I think, for, you know, the morning of Christmas, and, oh, my bad, jeez. I was over there for Christmas in the morning, and, you know, her and her boyfriend were there, you know, and my phone went off and it made that noise, and you know, my mom was looking around. She was like, who is that? And I was like, oh, that was my phone. And my phone had that notification tone option, so I've just been rolling with it. I've had that same exact notification. I want to say probably about a week or so after I bought that phone, a little over a year ago, because I bought that phone in the beginning of May of last year. So, you know, it's a Google Pixel 9. It's a nice phone. I absolutely like it. It takes excellent videos. But anyways, I keep getting off subject. I'm sorry, guys. But, yeah, that job that I had to do, and then the weather we've been getting, you know, that's been throwing me behind on uploading lately. So, yeah. I think I'm pretty much caught up at the moment, so, but the 2 crazy storms that I did record, I definitely will be doing a storm documentary video of those storms, so, yeah, and then, this, storm that we're supposed to get tomorrow, we'll see how that one does, you know, that's for sure. For the last big video that I uploaded, you know, it was me, recording a few different storms, and then there was a few other things that I did between the beginning of the video and then this trip that we went on, which was up to Baldwin, Michigan, because they were having Blessing of the Bike there, which is a motorcycle rally that takes place in, Baldwin each and every year on the 3rd weekend of May. You know, I started going to it in 2022, and it's just a motorcycle rally that I enjoyed going to, you know. I don't ride motorcycles myself, you know, nor do I ever really have plans to do that. But it's a rally that I enjoy going to, you know, for sure. You know. But, yeah. You know, I absolutely love to see motorcycles. So, yeah, that's why I go there. All of my brothers ride motorcycles. My dad rides a motorcycle. Yeah, I got quite a few other people in my family that ride motorcycles too, so, you know. I'm a massive supporter of those who ride around in motorcycles, you know, that's for sure. So, yeah. I will say sometimes I do worry for those that do ride around on motorcycles, because, you know, you get a lot of drivers that don't pay attention and they end up causing wrecks, and then they end up hitting somebody on a motorcycle. So, yeah. But yeah, like I said, we went up to Baldwin for Blessing of the Bike, and then after that, I'd say about a week or so later, I ended up visiting Fort Custer National Cemetery. So, yeah, that's how my previous big video, which was mid-April, the Memorial Day video, went. Definitely not a bad video. Still a long one, but like I said, definitely not anywhere near as bad as the long video that I put together from mid-February to early April, Easter Day, that's for sure. But oh man, I keep freaking yawning, guys. I'm sorry. I've just, it's nighttime. I think it's a little after 11:30. Thankfully, like I said, we're more than likely not working tomorrow because it's supposed to storm everywhere. So yeah. It is what it is. That's for sure. But yeah, I didn't think that video turned out bad. And then I'm working on another big video right now. I started recording for it while I was actually at that one job we were doing at Canadian Lakes. I started taking videos of that there, and then I took some videos of this park that we visited that was in Big Rapids. I think North End Riverside Park was the name of it. I actually uploaded videos of us visiting that park. I want to say a few days ago. The videos were taken on May 31st, but I ended up uploading that video a few days ago because, like I said, I've been trying to get caught up on uploads. So yeah, definitely been doing quite a bit of that, that's for sure. Doing some recording, and then in the past week, 2 weeks, well, actually not even 2 weeks, because a lot of this actually happened all in the same week, but within like 5 days I recorded 3 storms. Well, the first one was pretty much just rain, but there was some wind too, and then the second storm, that was a bad storm that took out one of our big branches, and then the day after that we had another bad storm that produced a few tornadoes here in Michigan, and then a few bad tornadoes in Illinois and northwest Indiana. That's for sure. Yeah, Mother Nature's definitely been on to something, that's for sure. But one thing I can say is, Mother Nature's not something to play around with. That's for sure. But yeah. Sometimes you just gotta really keep an eye on the weather, because you never know when things can change. Sometimes weather does what it wants to do. That's for sure. But yeah. What the heck? Oh, sorry. I thought I saw something. But yeah. Just, I'm getting caught off guard tonight, guys. I'm sorry. Probably not the best night to be recording, but and then right now you can barely see my frickin' face. That's for sure. But what more can you do? That's for sure. But yeah, between the storms and all that, you know, I keep repeating myself, my word. Just been more and more things coming up, and then like I said too, you know, I had two different family members that passed away. You know, one of my cousins and then one of my great aunts. And to make it all worse, they both passed away on the same day. You know, on June 10th, which was one of the days I recorded the one bad storm that took out one of our big branches. So, you know, yeah. Needless to say, that was not a very good day. Yeah, that's for sure. But, sometimes, what more can you do? I know that my cousin's funeral, I guess, is supposed to be coming up. I believe they were saying probably like Monday of next week. Whether or not I go to that will depend on my job, unfortunately, because we've had, you know, I work for a building contractor, and unfortunately, we've just been getting super backed up with so many jobs. You know, because the weather's been kind of screwing us, and then unfortunately this one job we've been doing up in Holland, you know, the guy is just, you know, and this is a house that I did some recording at in my my mid-April Memorial Day vlog. Unfortunately, just you know, we've had a few things that came up with that job, and we've just been freaking, you know, getting set back on a lot of things. So, you know, unfortunately, just things have not been going the best with that job. So, just one thing after another with people lately. You know, that's all I can say. But yeah, that job's been kind of setting us back some, and then like I said, we have multiple other jobs that have been freaking piling up. You know, another northern Michigan job, and you know, a few other things. You know, so yeah. However my work goes this week, and possibly, you know, one of the days throughout the weekend, you know, will depend on whether or not I'll go to that funeral, you know. So, I'm hoping to try and go, you know. My cousin that passed away, you know, it wasn't a close cousin by any means, but still, you know, just... One thing I will say, though, is if I'm not able to make it to his funeral, then one thing I do plan to do is, you know, sometime soon I was going to try and pay his grave a visit, and, you know, kind of do like what I did with my grandfather and one of my great uncles who are buried in Fort Custer National Cemetery. But yeah, you know, definitely go pay him a visit. I might try and do that sometime throughout this big video that I'm working on right now. You know, maybe try and make it an end of my big video that I'm working on right now. But I guess we'll see. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I would like to try and go to his funeral, but like I said, that'll depend on whether or not I'll be able to, you know, that's for sure. But anyways, I don't want to keep making this video depressing. You know, there's a few things that I do plan on doing for this big video that I'm doing that I haven't gotten to yet. Like, you know, I am gonna be I'm supposed to go to a graduation party sometime in the sometime soon. You know, I had a family member on my stepmom's side of the family that ended up graduating from high school. So, yeah, he's got a graduation party that I'm gonna go to, and then I also, you know, the next big thing that's supposed to be going on is, you know, I got a few big fireworks shows that I'm supposed to go to real soon. One up in South Haven and another one at Gun Lake. You know, I absolutely love going to those two fireworks shows. That's for sure. Those are fireworks shows that I've enjoyed going to for quite some time. You know, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna try and go to that. You know, earlier today, I was in South Haven and I ended up taking some videos. So, yeah, there was that too. Which is kind of funny because, you know, this YouTuber that I watch, she runs 2 YouTube channels, and I ended up finding out about her 2 channels through another YouTuber that I watch. But, you know, these 2 channels I'm talking about, one of them is Marketplace Boutique, and the other one is Jody Genealogy. You know, I ended up finding out about, well, I didn't know about both channels at first. I knew about one, but, you know, there's this YouTuber that I follow. You know, he goes by Backyard Trucker. He's actually based right here in Michigan. I think he lives, I want to say maybe somewhere up by Newaygo, White Cloud area, or maybe, I'm not too sure. I mean, it's not my business on where exactly he lives, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm trying to make that my business, but, you know, I know he's somewhere. I know he's based out of somewhere in that area. But the other person I was talking about, you know, Jody Genealogy, she's based out of Caledonia, so, or somewhere around there. You know, that's for sure. But, yeah, anyways, yeah, she was, in South Haven, I think, this past weekend, and you know, her and her husband were doing an anniversary celebration where they were visiting South Haven. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, you know, believe it or not, I actually went to South Haven more than once this past weekend, because, you know, yesterday, I went to the gym there, because that's where I go to the gym at, you know. I have a gym membership at this gym that's called the Bronson Wellness Center. Been going there for 2 years now. I absolutely like it, you know. I do some speed walking there time and time again, and then, you know, they also have a nice pool and a nice hot tub that I like to sit in, so, yeah. I go to that on many occasions. I go to the gym there every chance I can, yeah, that's for sure. But, yeah. Man, I gotta go grab something to drink real quick. Anyway, sorry about that. I know this video's been going on a little longer than it probably should, because I'm unfortunately a slow talker, and like I said, I'm just a little tired, but, yeah. Like I said, I ended up going to South Haven earlier today, so, yeah, I thought that was nice. It was definitely a beautiful day today, and then, like I said, I went there, yesterday too, because for one, I went to the gym there, and two, I just wanted to drive around there. Earlier today when I went, I was with my little sister and one of my aunts. So, yeah, they wanted to go walk around South Haven, so I figured, alright, well, you know, I'll tag along with them and join them, I guess. So, you know, nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I took some videos of that earlier today. I'll have those videos uploaded either sometime tomorrow or probably sometime in the next few days, depending on if anything else comes up or not, because like I said, we're supposed to get some bad storms tomorrow, so that'll depend on as to whether or not I have those videos uploaded tomorrow, you know, that's for sure. But yeah, oh, and also work too if I do end up working, yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, so far my plans for this big video, you know, add quite a few of the storm videos that I took to the big vlog that I'm working on, and then you know, the videos that I took while I was up north, those are going to be added to the big video. And then also the upcoming fireworks shows that we have coming up, you know, the South Haven fireworks and the Gun Lake fireworks, you know, those are going to be added to a video that I have coming up. You know, I haven't really came up with a name for the video yet, you know, maybe late May to Independence Day vlog, I don't know, but that'll also depend on whether or not what all I have planned, because, you know, if I end up doing anything else after Independence Day, you know, I probably, well, if I end up recording anything after Independence Day, then I'll probably just end up, you know, adding that video to a next big video. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. But, I don't know, I'm not holding my breath, you know. That's for sure. But, yeah, you know, I definitely got quite a bit planned for this big video that I'm working on. And then, like I said, I want to try and put together a storm documentary video of the two storms that I recorded, you know, both the June 10th and the June 11th storm. That's for sure. I'm not exactly too sure how exactly that's gonna go as planned, because I'm still trying to gather information on where the tornadoes here in Michigan hit. As far as I know, I believe they said Caledonia area had a tornado, and then somewhere else in Barry County, I guess, had a tornado reported. And then not too long before we had those two bad storms, I guess on, I don't remember if they said June 8th or June 9th, but I guess there was a weak tornado that was reported up in Grand Ledge, which is just outside of Lansing. Yeah, so yeah, I think June 9th is the day I recorded that crazy rain that we had. I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'd have to look at the dates again. But yeah, I know Michigan Storm Chasers had mentioned last night that or it might have been this morning they mentioned it, but there was a tornado that took place in Grand Ledge. So, yeah, I'll go figure on that. But, yeah. Like I said, we've been getting quite a bit of interesting weather. Yeah, quite the storms we've been getting. But, you know, I'm trying my best not to let that intervene with some of the plans that I have. But, yeah, between some of my family passing away and then work, and then, you know, quite a few other things that have been going on, you know, I've just been getting a lot of things that have been coming in, you know, that's for sure. But anyways, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this video. I don't want to make it any longer. I do feel like there was something else that I was going to say, but I don't remember at the top of my head. I guess we'll see. I feel like I keep hearing things. I'm sorry. I'm looking around like this while I'm freaking recording, and I apologize. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut this video. You guys all take care and be safe. Also, have a good day.